No, don't talk about that on air. Don't talk about that on air. No, it's better to just leave that kind of thing.
All right, let's move on.
I don't want to talk about Jordan Henderson's spear. Or
lack of spear.
Let's
go. Let's do it.
Apparently we're live. We're actually on the internet live.
Oh, we're live now?
Yeah,
okay.
on the internet.
Let's not talk about that then.
No, let's keep away from that kind of thing.
107, 15 likes. Every week.
You know, you've got to give people time.
No.
They might not like it straight away.
I don't care. On, like, done.
Do you go to pictures and watch it? Well, you don't go to pictures. Do you watch, like, telly and for, like, you watch it for 2 minutes and go, this is amazing?
Put it on, like it.
I mean, see, that's where you're going wrong, Baz. That's where you're going wrong. You are very much a spaghetti bolognese man.
I don't like spaghetti bolognese.
Well, there you go. Maybe if you tried it, you'd like it. Maybe you tried.
I'll be honest, it's one of the most overrated meals.
Have you had it?
Yeah.
When?
Loads of times.
When?
It's just, I'm not a lover.
Hang on, well, so you don't like it, but you've had it loads of times?
I don't mind it, but it's not one of me.
So it's gone from not liking it to not minding it. How far would I have to push you before you said you liked it?
No, you wouldn't. It's all right.
Oh, it's all right. Okay, so it's gone from don't like it, don't mind it, it's all right.
I don't like it.
Oh no, I'm not being funny, right? Never go to court. Never ever get a lawyer in front of you.
I'll be honest.
You'd be saying yeah.
I'll be honest. It's something I try to live my life by, mate. Not going to court and not needing a lawyer.
I can't even imagine. Gary Ward says, Harley.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, Gary. Mike Barrett says,
people hear
evening
me?
all. Graham Price says, hi, guys. Simon Rouse says, evening all. Kane Forshaw says, on this day 3 years ago, we beat Manchester City 4-0 at Goodison. How far has the club moved forward?
Moved forward, probably.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Come on, Kane.
Yeah.
And how much have players?
Yeah.
Like Tom Davis developed since then? What do we need to do from now to break into the top 6? Go on, it's a question for you.
Okay.
Do you like that question?
We've moved forward as a club because we've got a stadium on the horizon. Mm-hmm. You know, planning permissions in. I feel we've got some good players. I think City have moved forward ridiculously from that day. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say.
Well, that was
it was Pep's first season, and they had Claudio Bravo on goal, which, you know, you've always got a chance.
Hologram status.
Yeah, when he's in goal. But then we've lost players like Romelu Lukaku and Ross Barkley, who were key to us at that time. So that's hindered us. Tom Davis, I think he's developed in terms, obviously, of experience and playing games. He was raw and young then and fearless. So it's difficult to put any real measurable things in place, isn't it? Because we finished 7th that season and we finished 8th in the 2 seasons that followed. So some people would say you've actually haven't moved forward.
We haven't moved forward.
I think a lot of things have moved forward, though, if that makes sense. The team where it is hasn't moved forward. We've got a better manager now than we had then.
I don't think we have moved forward, Kane. I think that's a simple answer. I don't think we've moved forward. And the difference is the reason why is because we haven't had a manager to move us forward. We've just treaded water, but you can't tread water in the Premier League because other people go past you. So we haven't moved forward.
Got a better squad.
Man City have moved forward. We haven't.
City have.
Tom Davis, as a player, has maybe lost a little bit of what he had on that day, but has got better at other things. And that's what happens to young players. They come in and people don't know who they are and what they can do. And then, but his journey's been all over the gaff. He's had managers playing him as like a defensive midfielder.
Johnson was 4th manager since then, isn't he? So, and what do we need to break into the top 6? Win more points than every other team. Yeah. Going for it.
James says, what Mackies don't take Carlo to, and what did they order? Well, they didn't go to
McDonald's.
I mean, I've seen people pick this up, and they didn't go to McDonald's. It was a joke.
He even said himself.
It was a joke. He was laughing. He was laughing when he said it. It's just a joke, because Carlo said that Duncan took him out and paid for it, and then Duncan had a bit of laugh and said he was going to McDonald's. And that was it. But it was one who paid him off. Adam Galloway says, any new shoes soon, lads?
Camera shoes. Or
I have no idea. You have to give us more on that.
yeah, not sure what that one
I
is.
don't know.
Graham Ferguson says, what do we think of the stick that Brands got from a certain someone at the AGM? Fair or not? Yeah, but you answered this. Was it fair?
I mean, a certain someone, it was Professor Tom Cannon. I mean, it's as simple as that. Who was a guy who actually used to be all over telly, didn't he, and stuff, and radio. He was like the go-to guy for football finance.
Yeah.
And it was just dead interesting because it was like, the meeting was only like a minute old. And, you know, Bill's like doing his normal like spiel of opening the meeting in the most unprofessional way he can possible. You know, it's all off the cuff, like, welcome, darlings, to the Everton General Meeting. Something like that,
I mean, he didn't quite say that, but yeah, you know.
And Tom Cannon just jumped up and sort of went, yeah, I've got something to say. And he said it. No, because when he said, we're going to put, if anyone's got any issues with Marcel Brands, and he said, I have, and he just basically said, I don't agree. What's he done? What's anyone done? What's going on with the scouting? Why aren't we picking up players that we had when we had Moyes? It's a conflict of interest and all these kind of things. So I think what he said was, I think it was well meant. I genuinely think it was well meant. I just don't think, I think it was something that, I understand why he said it, but no one in the room was going to back him, and they didn't back him obviously because it went to a vote, and no one else put their hands up. Bill Kimrick said he was invited onto the board because they needed some football direction on the board. And what he did say was, Tom Cannon, and this was something I think that's been missed by a lot of people actually, is he said Everton need to have someone on the board, an old player who can get the point across. And Tom Cannon was actually saying that I think Peter Reid should be on the board. That's one of the things he said.
He'd be great, Reid.
He said he understood. And then this is where Denise Barrett-Baxendale said, well, actually, we are announcing next week that a senior former player will be joining as an ambassador. And then said, sort of like, and they will be doing that. So she sort of, she said ambassador and she said senior former player, but then hinted at the fact that they would have some kind of role within the board.
Within the board, yeah.
So that was intriguing. I don't know who it is.
They didn't elaborate on it, did they?
No, she sort of said they were in the room, but the
only one I saw was Graham Sharp.
Yeah, and he's already an ambassador. I don't know who it'll be. Kevin Ratcliffe has become a little bit more. Well, he's gone on Twitter, hasn't he? So he's become a little bit more present recently. I don't know whether it be someone like him. We'll have to wait and see. I think that would be fantastic if it was someone like that. But
the only thing I'd say against what Tom Cannon said, well, not against what Tom Cannon said, but things like, he's right in a way, the role of director of football hasn't quite paid off yet. But I think a lot of the problems will be created by Steve Walsh. And just because he wasn't used to doing that job, he's a scout. I think Marcel Brands should be questioned by people. I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning some of the stuff because we haven't seen it bear fruition on the pitch. But things like, it's easy to say, why aren't we getting players like Tim Cahill from lower leagues like we did under Moyes, when everybody now is looking at every single player. There's data analysts everywhere. Yeah. There's no hidden gems really anymore.
The market's completely different.
It's a totally different world. You know, we've got the Piv with us in here, and he's currently doing his data analyzation or whatever it's called. Data analysis, that's the word, and what the hell I was doing. Annihilation, made a new word. Data analysis over there. Now I'm looking at certain players for
things. Is that when you're trying to find a Nigel?
Yeah, Nigelisation.
And you're
just looking
doing all the scouting for Nigel.
Rio Coker specifically.
Have you found any Nigels?
And his contract.
Rio Coker, like 20 years ago, he was all right, yeah.
And that's the thing about it is, you know, with the introduction of things like white scouts and stuff like that, clubs can have access to all of these players now. Whereas when David Moyes was here, he might get, you know, tipped off by someone. There's this lad here doing well, and he goes and watches him 4 or 5 times, and other people mightn't quite have got that same tip off or whatever, or mightn't be in a position to buy those players or want to gamble. I just don't think it's the same market anymore.
Andy, how difficult is it to keep a really good talent off the radar of scouts these days, do you think?
Very hard. There's certain ones you can still do it with. But with that Y Scouting stats, as Baz said, with the fact that every club has people in countries watching games for them and informs when players do well, the whole network has expanded, mostly because of the internet. The difference between the Moyes era, the internet's gone to another level. There is still players you can still keep out to the people eye. There's still players that I've watched that people haven't watched that haven't come up. It's also for Premier League clubs as well. It's risk. If you're willing to take risks, you'll get good players, but a lot of teams won't take risks, and that's why they don't get good players.
And also, you're never, ever, 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 ever going to pick up a Tim Cahill again. Who, let's be honest,
You're
right?
worth 15 million now in the Championship.
Tim Cahill was not someone that people did not know about when he was at
Maybe
Millwall.
FA Cup.
He went to the
Maybe
FA Cup final. He
yeah.
scored the winner in the semi-final of the FA Cup. It wasn't like people didn't know him, and we picked him up for £2 million. So now, if you scored a winning goal in a semi-final now and played in an FA Cup final, you are worth 15 million quid, aren't you? Straight away.
Yeah.
So there's the risk factor straight away. We took a risk on him because there wasn't a risk with the financial, what he was worth. It was buttons, absolute buttons. So that's the problem. Now people look at those players and think,
20 million.
am I going to pay 20 million for?
A gamble.
Yeah.
Which is what it was. I mean, Millwall had a few at that time. That Stephen Reid was another one who a lot of people, I mean, Blackburn eventually took him, but there was a few in that team where they were looking at and going, is he as good? Cahill was one of them, Stephen Reid, another couple, and it was a case of whether we gambled. And don't forget, if Crystal Palace would have sorted out the agents, he'd have gone to Crystal Palace before Everton.
Well,
so
would have been a different place.
Different thing.
Mike Barrett says we all know Baz likes his food on a bed of rocket.
I love rocket, to be honest.
Connor Gerrard says, hello lads, hope all is well. If we were to bring in a midfielder this January, who would you ideally bring into the club if you had the choice? No idea. Andy?
Rabiot would be my ideal choice if we had it.
Yeah, someone like a Rabiot, someone like Frank Kessie, that type of midfielder. Obviously, I still love Ibrahim Sangare, whether Everton are looking at that way. There's loads of good midfielders in France, to be fair.
Yeah.
There's Aurélien Tchouameni, who plays for Bordeaux. It depends what type you want. If it's just a loan, though, there's a much smaller market.
I
like Ben Sequeira at Milan, yeah. There's a much smaller market for loans. He might be available on loan because Milan is stupid, so it depends, really. It depends what you're looking at, but they're wasting a lot of their players, like Rafa Leao. I don't know he scored on the weekend.
Scored last week, didn't he?
Yeah, but Piontek's been linked with Spurs, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But he's not Jorge Mendes, client, so that won't happen.
Gary Ward says Memphis 901 FC finally got around to officially naming Tim Howard as the sporting director.
Are they in the USL?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like them.
They're in the lowers, aren't
Tampa Bay Rowdies is where it's at in the USL.
they? Is he? Yeah, is he? Where's that? Where's that?
I don't know idea.
He's just got a soft spot for
He's
them.
got a soft spot.
So Howard's isn't he part of Stevenage as well or something like that? Here.
He is, yeah.
And now he's
As
the
well as
sporting
being
director of Memphis 901 and Everton's US ambassador. Busy man.
Busy man.
Busy man.
Got to pay for those tattoos somehow.
Yes,
Adam Galloway says, sorry lads, men shows.
New shows. Well, it's the new year, so we'll start having to think about anything different.
Any
that we
suggestions? Just
Suggest
let us know.
some, Adam. What would you like to see? What would you like us to do? Give us some suggestions.
Lindsay65 says, evening lads. Watched young Branthwaite's goal for Carlisle. It was a cracker. I think we might have found our new defender. He's a big lad, quite tall. Thoughts, lads?
Andy, that's for you. Jared Branthwaite.
Yeah, I watched him a fair few times for Carlisle. Really good, mobile, strong. He's obviously 17, so he'll mature even more in terms of physicality. Good on the ball, and he can improve. Carlisle play a lot of long balls, so shorter passing is something you'll have to get used to, but he's got a bit of quality on the ball. Good technique. Quick enough, yeah. He's not a sprinter, but he's quick enough. He's above average in speed. So yeah, good player. I think really smart sign, and really a lot of clubs were looking at him. Arsenal went to scout him, and I think he was injured, and I'm doing quotation marks, people who can't see me, because I think Everton told him to hold out the game, probably.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play his last couple of games for Carlisle.
Well, there was a few after him. United were after him.
There was 50 scouts at a Carlisle game, and let me be honest, there's not one player more. Exactly. There's not one player who had one apart from him at Carlisle.
Swift442 says, recently came out that we're one of the 3 teams not to be awarded a penalty this year. Even if VAR should have awarded at least 2. Do you think it's time the Prem goes out and gets the best refs from around the world in the same way the league does with players, and a separate VAR team, obviously?
Separate VAR team,
yeah,
100%,
separate VAR team,
100%. I don't know.
I don't know what.
We're getting an Australian ref, aren't we?
My idea, by the way, for this, this was on a different show, but my idea was bring in ex-refs, not Pierluigi Collina, but from around the world who've retired. Maybe Uriah Rennie, for example, and have them do it in Stockley Park and then make decisions.
Then the VAR ref.
Yeah, instead of people who are still friends with other refs making decisions.
I still think
I'd have League 1 or 2 players.
I still think the big problem though is on the pitch. I still think our quality of referees is poor, and we know that because they haven't been going to major tournaments. So we have to look at that and make them better. Getting the best refs from around the world is very much a short-term solution and also an expensive solution. We need to have better refs, and they've got to find a way of getting better refs. I don't know because I'm not a referee, but I don't know how you implement that or you make that happen.
Well, Jürgen can give them some of his potion. That'll make them faster and get to decisions quicker.
Get them on the Jesus juice. That's what I say. Tip of the spear.
Potent potion.
Jordan's love blend.
Jürgen's love blend.
Well, Jordan's got an input, quite literally.
Yeah, I again, it's difficult, I think. I mean, ideally, ex-players would be good referees, but it's getting players to actually train, and then by the time they've gone through the games they've had to ref, you're talking 3 or 4 years before they could referee. But I think ex-pros, whether they'd be interested, I don't know, but I guess if you're playing in League 1 or League 2, and then you can finish there and someone's giving you a job that's 140 grand a year plus expenses, I'm guessing some of those lads would find that quite appealing, and then they could be referees for 10 years and still be in the game, and they're lads who will have played the game, know what to tackle, know what's intentional, what isn't intentional, and have actually been footballers themselves.
I think the whole thing needs to be looked at.
Does.
I think the game's getting too fast.
It's £1 billion sport.
For the referee on the pitch.
Ref in each half as well.
Possibly so, but then you've got a VAR. It's how you use it all. I just don't think we use it properly enough. And I think, but I also think that the refs have got help by having a screen that shows them exactly what's just happened and why aren't they using it, and therefore they're the one in control of the decisions, and we might start seeing more of the right decisions being made because a referee's had another chance of looking at it. You know, I know why they don't look at the screens, but if you're the ref and you get to go and look at something again, if you've got half a picture in your head and you want the full thing completed, you walk over, look at the screen and go, yeah, that was a pen. Rather than the fella upstairs going, yeah, I mean, I'd give it, but is he going to give it? And we need to find a definitive thing on this where the fella just goes, yeah, I think that was a pen. And I think, come full circle, I think, in the whole thing. I think we need to go, you know, we've seen it in the World Cup, you know, 3 years ago. Was it 2 years? 3 years?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And we've seen how refs used it. And for most of the games, they used it well.
Fine, yeah.
Apart from a couple of games where the refs lost control because of it. I just don't think they use it well enough. So we'll see how it progresses. Dave Wild says, with the £30 million deposit on the stadium naming rights, what is the preferred name of the stadium? USM Arena, USM Stadium, USM Bramley Moore Stadium Arena, or are you not bothered as long as we get substantial sum for the right? I like stadium.
Yeah.
Well, what about this one? What about USM Park? Because that to me sounds like a proper footy ground. USM Park. It also sounds like Ivy Lane in a weird way.
It does, yeah.
But I like USM Park.
Maybe, and then you've got a nod to Goodison Park.
Yeah.
Haven't you? But USM...
You've took the park bit.
Yeah. USM Stadium, I like.
USM Marina.
Marina,
Oh,
yeah. I'll be honest, I like USM Arena as well. Arena or Stadium.
Yeah.
But, yeah, to be honest, your last line is what I'm bothered about.
Yeah.
How much money.
Arena, if it has monster trucks. I think we can all get behind that.
And concerts.
Always have Beyonce's opening the gaff.
There. She's there.
She's opening the gaff.
Yeah, Elton John and Barrymore.
Elton John. You do know you're mic'd up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael
It doesn't
Barrymore's
matter if you
there,
talk
then
quieter.
Strike it lucky.
Strike it lucky,
It's
yeah.
he's like the opening act.
Well, there is a big body of water. I'm just saying, it's a big body of water.
What's Mark G saying?
He's saying, Baz, you and John said on the vid yesterday that our 3-year loss was 94 million. Didn't this 110 loss put us well beyond the 105 cap or unallowed loss over the past 3 years? I couldn't figure out your math.
94.4 million was the losses over 3 years. We lost actually 111.8 million in that calendar year, 18 to 19 season. But in the 3 years, we've made a profit of 30 million or something on one of the seasons. So, player trading. So when you add the three of them up, it brought that back down to 94.4 million. And debts come up, we paid some of the debt off here, and then the stadium was ring fenced, and that money went somewhere else. It's how they do the books, Mark. So over the 3-year period, the losses are 94.4
and it's
million.
It's like tax as well. Certain stuff's deductible, isn't it? If stuff goes into charity work, or maybe the stuff at the stadium.
They kept mentioning that last night, didn't they, about the that's a charity work, and we haven't took that into account with that. Because it was a 13-month thing as well.
The bottom line is we haven't...
We're 11 million away from FFP.
We haven't infringed on FFP. So now it's time to get rid of a lot of the dross as quickly as we can. Gary Ward says Tim Howard is in the ownership group for Dagenham and Redbridge.
Dagenham and Redbridge, not Steve.
And Simon Rouse says, are any of these rumours so far legit? Has anything got legs?
Nothing's really moving as such. A couple of the names are legit, but other ones are just... They're going to just pick anyone out.
I always find that it's the second half of January, because that's when people actually know where they are and what they are. What we need might have been lessened by the fact that we're not in the FA Cup and we're not in the League Cup. So therefore it might have been lessened. We've got players coming back from injury as well. We've won games over Christmas, so we're not going to be in any kind of battle towards the bottom. And I think that gets rid of a lot of the risk factor for me anyway. So therefore, you look at it now and you think, well, we'll be all right with what we've got. I suppose what they'd have to look at in the last week or two of it is there anyone out there outstanding that would help us get into the European places? For me,
gotta be. You've got to. For me, we need a mobile central midfielder for the rest of the season, because that then takes the pressure off Jean-Philippe Gbamin coming back. We can ease him in then and get him used to it, and it also takes the pressure off trying to rush Andre Gomez back. Sigurdsson and Schneiderlin are too slow, and Davis is a little bit up and down, and he needs to have someone mobile alongside him to get the best out of him as well. So I would, but again, those players, particularly loan players, only really become available in the last 7 days of the window. So unless a club just wants them out, like we wanted Sosen out, and Palace were desperate for it. So Dave Robertson said, was Brands on stage at the time of Cannon's challenge, and how did he react? He was on stage. Tom Cannon was looking straight at him. I think Marcel looked a little bit... I don't know, he just listened to what he had to say. Yeah. He looked quite cool and calm about it. Whether he was seething inside, you don't know. But the fact is that when it went to the vote, there was only Tom Cannon, I think he put his hand up. The rest of the room didn't oppose it. So the validation was there. He didn't really need to... he didn't really need to be, angry, upset, embarrassed or whatever by it, because it was done and dusted. So, yeah, he was there and he didn't really react to it.
Sophie Gallagher says, good evening. What did you both think of the AGM and the shareholders' comments about Brands? Our recruitment has been terrible, to be honest. City wouldn't sell Delph on the cheap if he was good enough. I honestly think that the recruitment's been fine. I honestly do. I think the players Brands has brought in have not all been hits. But I also think the water is muddied by... One of the things he said last night was about Zaha, wasn't he? And he made it plainly obvious that we didn't bid, which reported we bid for him because he said we didn't have the money.
We didn't have an official bid.
No, but he also clarified it by saying we didn't have that money. So it suggests that he, as a director of football, will take things to a certain level, and then if someone else at the club decides to take it further,
Then
that's on them and not on him.
Yeah.
So
He did stop Mashiri bidding more.
there you go. So the question, again, he's still on camera.
But he put the line. He put the line and said, "I don't think we should go any more for him. He's not worth it." And Mashiri was still trying
Well,
to push
that's
the
up to
envelope.
the owner,
So
isn't it?
therefore, that muddies the waters to who the signings are. I don't know what the fascination with is with Fabian Delph. I really don't know. For £8 million, I don't know what people expected.
Because someone's decided they don't like him because he's answered someone back on social media, and now people have made him out to be the villain.
When we signed him, I thought if we get 25 games out of him a season, we'll be fine.
It was everything else that he was bringing, and he's still bringing that, and he's a good trainer and a good in the dressing room. So
We were never expecting him to play a lot of games. He's been brought in for set standards in the dressing room and off the pitch.
that was actually
how can we judge that when we're not in the dressing room?
exactly, and that was one of the things that Brands put on his presentation last night. Identify a player with leadership qualities.
But everyone was saying it wasn't Delph.
the grass.
Yeah, but it was Delph.
I think people need to, honestly, people need to stop worrying about certain individuals. The manager will weed out, and Marcel Brands will weed out who they want and who they don't want. And if we don't have chips on our shoulders about those players, we'll all get on a lot better. There's some players I don't like at Everton. They're genuinely called Morgan. Right. But if he plays on Saturday, I'm just going to have to go, the manager wants him to play. And that's it.
I just want him to do well when he plays. Like I want every Everton player to do well. That's the easiest thing, isn't it? Whether you like them or not is almost irrelevant. It's about whether they perform.
I think the only signs you can really judge properly are the ones from last season. The ones this season are either injured. Well, most of them have been injured, to be honest with you, and one's inexperienced and Moise Keane. It's not often people come straight into the Premiership and become like the best player in the league. It's very hard now. It's a high standard league. People have to be a bit more patient.
We have a lot of expectation on those people.
Yeah, they do, yeah. I understand that people have got no patience anymore, but you need to be a bit more realistic.
Let's have a look. What else is going on here?
Terry McAllister, when are you coming on?
I mean, that was a jump.
Well, just I remember him and Paul said they were going to come in. Paul came in, didn't he?
Paul came in.
Terry's sound.
No. That's what I mean. Him and Paul need to come in. Or...
Don't be starting to try and get divisions between us and Terry.
No,
Yeah.
You're trying to create divisions.
We
Sorry,
like
because I
Terry
said
Mack.
he was sound.
We like Terry Mack.
Sorry.
Terry Mack supports
Terry
me on
not
the
sound,
old bad
Ped
ball
says.
as well. Says he's ambivalent to it at best.
But you weren't ambivalent. You started hating it. And
I
then
didn't
we
hate it.
wore you down to
didn't
being
hate it.
like, hey, mamma mia, make me sound forget there. Just, yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. What else have we got here?
Gia, Mark G, Dare to Dream.
Yeah. G. Carlin says the stats of May 18th were released and now until June 19th.
Yeah, that's the 30th.
Oh, you talking about the finances?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They are what they are. You can't make something that isn't there. Big fat wedge. That's all we should be
G.
telling.
Carlin, why is no one tackling the £112 million losses? Well, we know where they've come from.
We've known for 6 months.
Spent money, and we've known for a while that when we were spending that money, there would be losses incurred by the company. We know that. The problem is, you either, to not have any losses, you stop buying players and hope then that you make this team. But people demand to buy players because everybody else is buying them to move forward. So until we get better and better and everything else goes up like commercial deals and we finish higher up, hence more prize money, we're going to have losses because we're trying to get somewhere which reduces our losses. Club doesn't make enough money to spend and pay players what we pay them without Farhad Moshiri, and that's the top and bottom of it. So there's not much.
I think
we've
identified the issue, and a lot of it comes from the stadium. So we need to get the stadium sorted, and that's what we're trying to do. And if someone's willing to give us 30 million quid to have the chance to have the naming rights, then that's a good start. You know, as I said, you know, as you just said, we know where the money is. Jack Collins says, how much would we get for John Joe? 25 million, question mark, or keep him and play him? We love Big Dunk says 17 million for John Joe.
I reckon that's a reasonable price, that.
I think, personally, we should sell him and put a buyback clause in. 2-year buyback window. I think for something like 15 to 20 million, I think that would be acceptable. Let him get on with playing in Germany. Let him get games under his belt. Let him get experience. And if we want to buy him back, we can buy him back. And it might work out best for actually us and John Joe Kenny that in 2 years' time, he can come back and he'll have had, let's say, 3 years' experience of playing in Germany. If we buy someone who's around 26, 27, whether that be Sidibe or somebody else, we've got someone in their peak years, and then we bring John Joe back at the right time. That to me makes sense. That's a sensible way of doing something, rather than the way we have been doing things, which is not give players experience ourselves, not allow them to get experience anywhere else, and then they walk for nothing. That to me just makes... I said this before. I said it about Kieran Dowell. What was the point of having someone like Kieran Dowell, putting him on loan here, putting him on loan there, give him to someone for 2 years and go, he's yours. You get settled down. You play yourself into the team or whatever, rather than this idea of we hand them back. I think that makes it comfortable for players. And I think someone like Kieran Dowell has got to a position, certainly for him, where he's become comfortable and he can just come back and it's like, oh, I'll go somewhere else. It's like, no, get roots, dig in. This has been this move for John Joe.
I think we're going to buy Dowell.
Well, he will. Of course he will.
For a couple of million.
But I think John Joe will benefit massively from having 2-3 years at a Bundesliga club that's challenging for Europe.
Yeah, definitely. It's up to him. If he looks and thinks, you know, I'll get in the team or whatever, then that's fine, isn't it? But I don't know whether he does. The other thing is, isn't Thomas Meunier out of contract in the summer? He hasn't signed a new contract, I don't think, so far at PSG. So if that was the case, he's at 27. So he could be like a stop. He's a bit better than Sidibe. He's good going forward. He's a bit physical. Defensively, he's a bit better, isn't he? And he's playing for PSG and Ancelotti.
He's 28.
28. So 3 years he could do, couldn't he?
It's too old for me, but yeah, his contract is up according to this year.
Yeah. So,
but is he too old for you in terms of if he was a free transfer, playing in his peak years?
It depends, because you're going to say, for example, all right, you put him on a 5-year contract and he's going to ask for a 5-year deal at like 100 grand a week because he's played for PSG. Say 2 or 3 years into it, he's not doing well, you're trying to sell him. Where's he going to go?
Same thing,
it's the issue. If he was younger, you're going to get someone to bite on it. If it's the balance. It's a balance there.
I'm never inviting you to a party.
There's other players we can get it to.
Blue Boy Stu says, why is El Piv not on the camera? Because he's working over there and he doesn't want you to see what he's working on.
Thank you.
And he's got his mic on, so we can answer.
Wormy Spoon says, you guys know anything about Dennis Adeniran? You do, don't you? Love him?
I love Dennis Adeniran, yeah. He's box-to-box midfielder. He's been misused this season as a right winger, thanks to David Unsworth. But yeah, I think he needs to go out on loan, get involved in midfields where it's frenetic and physical, and I think you'll see a good player.
Why isn't he out?
I think he's championship level currently.
Wait, I just don't quite understand. He was playing for Fulham.
We bought him.
He was playing in the squad. He was in the squad for Fulham, and we took him away from Fulham, and he's not played a competitive first-team game since.
My pet hate is people coming into clubs who come out of first teams and going in the 23s. Yeah. It must kill your developments, because you're basically going from playing against proper men and making it hard against lads you played 2 for years. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I find that strange that we've done that, and I hope we don't do it to this bantamweight either.
I hope so.
Michael
Woods says, lads, with Usmanov slowly making his way into the club, how would you like him to be involved? I would prefer, as a silent partner, to keep fees as low as possible when trading with players.
Where's he gonna
Any
press
way
them?
we can use the money as best we can.
I think, well,
Infrastructure.
this is the problem, right? There is absolutely, and I mean absolutely 0 point of Usmanov buying into Everton Football Club before that stadium is built. There is 0 point because of FFP. We can't do anything with the money. So he would be better being a sponsor and us getting the money that way. And in fact, that's a more effective way because we're allowed to do that. If he came in and went, suitcase, loads of money, and went, yeah, lads, go and spend that, we can't spend it. We wouldn't be allowed to spend it. It's this FFP rule that doesn't make any sense because it actually stops competitiveness. It's just the ladder that's been pulled up by all the other teams. So
Darn tootin'.
do what he's been doing. Spend money on sponsorships. USM Finch Farm.
UFC.
Yeah,
Megaphone.
Megaphone. Just come up with all kind of mad. That's what I think he should do. Come
Corner
up with
shops.
the maddest brands in the world, and be like, yes, I am launching a new canoe. The canoe is worth. Each canoe is worth £1 billion. I don't know if we'll sell any, but I'm putting a sponsor on Everton's kit.
Gold Canoes Company.
Dave Canoe.
Gold Canoe
The
Co.
canoe for you.
I like Gold Canoe Co, but whatever.
No, whatever, you know what I mean?
I'll get like
Alish's canoes.
Alish's, yeah.
Vlad's favourites.
There you go.
I mean, let's not talk about Putin after what he's done today.
What's he done?
We're not talking about what Putin's
Go
done
on,
today.
move on.
Exactly. We love Big Dunk says Balassi's been turning up in Portugal. Yeah.
He's done all right.
James Garvo says,
You can stay there.
reckon we can buy anyone in January or only loans and wait to buy in the summer.
Loans.
I think loans.
We might get a loan or two.
If you've got 3 players out, you never know.
Al Clark, talking about the ref situation, says, why not just replay it on the big screen so the ref doesn't have to leave the pitch? Well, the problem with the big screen, like a big screen, is the ref really can't see it, can he? And some grounds don't have big screens as well. Convenient, Liverpool and Old Trafford. So that's the problem. It can't be universally brought in because Liverpool and Man United don't have anywhere to put the big screens.
Michael Wood says USM Goodison Arena.
No, that's too much.
Mark Hansen says USM Marina Defo.
Springheel Jack says, just got a pair of tabs for a lady.
Fair
Is he
play.
still diving over houses?
I don't know what that means.
Big Dunk. We love Big Dunk says USM Grand.
Dave Wynn says USM Bramley Park. Again.
USM Riviera says the Royal Blue 1878.
Yacht Club
Pete says,
USM.
USM Sputnik. Tony Colton says, I think Carlo was falling in love with Everton.
Tell him he's not doing a good job at Sunderland.
Tony Colin. Colin. Rather,
he
he's
said
called him
Coton.
Tony Colton.
I know he's on
He's now
good.
the
I know he's on
head of
good
the
money,
agreements
but
at
he
Sunderland.
speaks highly the tradition and the setup.
Yeah, Carlo's boss.
Loves it. Loves being in the
Yeah,
Titanic.
look, Stewie, 1987 iffy. All right, lads, thanks to Baz. I'm listening to Ancelotti's book. It's really good and gives us an idea of how he'll be at our club. He seems like a perfect fit for him and us. It does. Wormy Spoon says Rabiot. Yeah. G. Carlin 199 says Carrasco could make a change. Pete says is top 4 going to happen over the next 3 seasons. Who knows? Nick says Gabama will be like a new signing. Just depends on how quick he can get up to speed.
Good stuff. Martin Carter says, will Benny Beningame get a goal in midfield? Well, he's injured. Been injured
No, he's
since.
back now. He's played.
Well, he played tonight.
You know what I mean?
And
He's been injured.
Then he got a reckless
said he wants his
tackle on
life?
him. There was a reckless tackle on him, and the Arsenal kid got sent off. But,
There you go.
but Beningame
Everyone's out to get him.
Everyone's out to get
Everyone's
Benny.
out to get Benny. Well, he could lead. He could lead this.
Sorry.
Okay.
Benny Beningame, Benny Hill.
Hang on,
anyone.
let me just do that because you're doing me head in.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just have to bin someone because you're doing me head in.
Michael Ross said, is this squad good enough to finish 6th?
Is it better than Wolves? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tough one this year. It's difficult to judge.
Well, Arsenal are not going to finish in the top 6, I don't think, this season.
It's a decent squad. The centre midfield area worries me more than anywhere else, I'll be honest. But then if you could get Gabaman in and he could settle down, who knows? Who knows? Martin Carter, USM, Mega Fun Park. I like that.
Michael Barrett's gone full Tory because he says,
Michael who?
Baz, have a word with Ped. He's told all of Twitter that they can listen to Carlo's book for free. Waterstones won't be happy. Well,
It's audible, isn't it?
What? Why would you be? Why would you be bothered if they?
Isn't it audible?
Yeah, it's on Audible for free.
Yeah,
You get
free.
it for a month for free.
It's all right, Michael, because I didn't write it, and I'm not getting any commission. So.
And Carlo will already have the money off.
You got it in advance. You got it in advance.
Yeah, look, Max Barlow says, I can see Usmanov doing what happened with Liverpool when they made their own kit brand with Warrior. Everyone knows it.
The logo would just be like Uzonov's face.
Imagine
No.
Just be amazing.
No, be nice. Just like a little yacht. Just like a little yacht. Not like Lacoste.
Usmanov kit brand, just a yacht.
No, wouldn't.
With him on the
It doesn't have to be called Usmanov. It can be called
No,
something
it's
cool.
just him with 2 machine guns standing on a bed.
Kalashnikov kits. two guns like that. Oh, come on,
Guns.
Baz. Kalashnikov kits.
No, we're trying to get away from guns.
Why are we? Because we're balls deep in them at the moment, aren't we? At Everton, no, everywhere you look.
The world, I mean. Jack says, do you rate Unai Nunes, Atletico Bilbao centre-back? Good lad.
He's a good player, yeah. Come through
22, isn't he?
Yeah, come through the academy. He's quick for a Spanish centre-half, yeah. Good physicality.
Can't get in this year. They're looking to sell him. Only play 7 games.
They're only looking to sell him because they want to buy other Basque players.
Yeah. But you'd have him.
He's a good player.
Mail me says, I told my missus about USM. I mean, I don't know what that means, but I like the sentiment.
What did she think? Is she happy that the sponsorship going?
Simon Murphy says USM Stadium equals Ultimate Sex Machine Stadium. I'm glad you've had to think
I'm
about
happy
it.
with that.
I thought it was Usmanov scarfing Mashiri, but by the by.
I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Matty Naylor says, when do you lads think Moise Keane will come into form and start getting to grips with the Premier
Probably
League?
when
Next season.
Probably when he stops driving his car and
No hands.
Instagramming at the same time.
You see, I think he is getting better and getting more used to the Premier League. It's just he needs a goal, but he's looked better when he's got on lately than the first part of the season. But
It's for him. It's, you know, when you see people say he's got a bad touch, it's sometimes he doesn't take a second touch quick enough, because in Italy there's obviously a slower type of game. Just getting used to that pace of the game.
definitely.
Amin says, well, every Bilbao player comes through the academy. They do, because they can't buy anyone
Well,
else.
actually, no, because that's
Well,
not
they
true.
can buy
Amor
Bilbao,
Vieta came from Ecuador, and his mum and dad settled in Dingo, and he didn't start till he was 16. Plus, they all have different academy dotted around the country.
No, he's not invited to any of the parties.
That's good. He knows. He's giving us context, isn't he?
Bad news, Piv.
Don Chig says, will Gabaman be missing for the AFCON? Well,
He
if
will
he's
be next
fit
year.
and playing, yeah, he
it's
will.
next year. I mean, let's concentrate more on him actually playing football on grass before we worry about things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Look at Michael Woods. Our new signing and all of his family are Reds. Imagine getting to this point of the season with them so far on top, then switching sides to us just before you can enjoy it for the first time. Where are we? That guy says, saw something on Twitter saying Marcel Brands has done very good business for Everton in terms of transfers. Not sure what to think about this. What's your opinion on it?
I mean, you don't need to look at what someone said on Twitter.
Nobody's just saying.
It depends on what level you think.
I think he has, but I think we have made some good signings.
Yeah, we've also made some average signings. We've also made some panic signings. It's what happens. It's what happens when you can't get maybe the players you want, but you need players. It's what happens. Mark G says, my dream 2021-22 starting 11. Someone better than Pickford. Sidney or Kenny.
Kenny's
Ferro.
plays for Benfica.
Mina, Dean, Gabaman, Buendia, Gomez, Ziyech or Neres. So Ray Ajax, Keane, Richarlison. No Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Behave yourself. Subs, Bernard, or a new midfield winger. Iwobi, or a new midfield winger. Holgate. Davis, or a new midfielder. Gordon. So where's Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
He's selling him, obviously.
Where's Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Behave yourself, Mark. I don't believe anything you said. You've basically just... I'm disappointed in you, Mark. Kane says, do you think Iwobi will start to play in a different position now that we can play 4-4-2? In Ancelotti's book, he said he regretted not buying Roberto Baggio because he didn't fit into team setup, but regrets not buying and developing the player to play in a different position. Have you just compared Iwobi with Roberto Baggio?
The divine ponytail.
I mean,
Roberto Baggio was a centre forward who dropped off the front. You can't really compare the two.
He's not comparing them. He's just saying, where do you think?
The Iwobi will have to play the Bernard role.
He'd have to play at left centre, wouldn't he?
Because he's not good enough defensively to play centre midfield in a 2, which is the issue with the 4-4-2.
He'd have to be inside left.
Yeah, you would be, yeah. The old inside left.
The old inside
outside left.
Fair enough.
We're bringing it back.
It's about him
science.
fitting into Ancelotti's style, isn't it?
By the way, it would have been a terrible mistake to try and change Baggio. Thank God he didn't do that.
Amazing, mate.
Don't
you know
change
what,
him.
right? If Baggio hadn't missed that penalty, people would think about it.
He's the best player in the World Cup.
He was amazing. He single-handedly dragged Italy to that World Cup final.
And
and
it was a Brazil team with no stars either.
Just by the time they got to that final, he was completely knackered. He dragged them. Some of his performances in that World Cup.
His penalty was terrible.
No, it was terrible. And actually, he was a brilliant penalty taker.
He should have never left Fiorentina. He's never really had a home apart from Brescia. He doesn't have like a team where he can call his own because he didn't move too many times. Read John Foot's Calcio, great book.
Robert Ball says, with brands of signings, it's useful to think about whether they've retained or increased their value. A bit cold, but I think Marcel's in the black and the only way out of Steve Walsh cash fire. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Has anyone he's bought decreased what we paid for them?
You don't know with some of them.
No, but I'm saying, would you say they have? So Luca Dean,
do we overpay for anyone?
Luca Dean's worth more than 18 million.
It's, I suppose the only one people would follow up is Iwobi. Is did we overpay for him? People go 35 million. I think we next paid 28 million for him, didn't we? So,
and even at 35, I think he'll prove to be a good signing. Iwobi.
Yeah.
I think most of them have increased in value, haven't they?
Yeah, I think
maybe
so.
Moyes Keane at the moment, but he's a kid.
22 million down, though.
So
you get that back from off like Fiorentina or someone.
I don't know. That's the only thing you'd be selling them back to an Italian club.
We pay money.
And
I don't think there's any.
Though, do
There'll be no plans.
To take him this, Mark.
There'll be no plans to sell him. He'll be fine. Teddy Sass said, mad how this
Teddy Sass.
Yeah, mad how this AGM can be spun depending on what someone's narrative is. We're lucky to have Brands and glad he underlined the magnitude of the job he came into yesterday. Is he on a 5-year contract? I think he is.
Yes, he is.
The longer the better, because we won't see the fruits of his work for a good few years. I'm excited about the club going forward. Should be excited about the club going forward. Without a shadow. This is for you. Who's winning the Oscars?
White men.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly. I think Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor.
Yeah, of course you will.
Best Actress, I don't think Scarlett. I watched Marriage Story. I wasn't that keen on it, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, bad news,
yeah, bad news. Best Picture. 1917 will win that, the Sam.
I need to go and see that.
I need to go and see it myself. I've heard it's really, really good.
What?
Watch The Outsider, everyone, on Sky Atlantic. It's great.
You come for the stats, you stay for the reviews.
Yep.
Simon Rouse says, should we not just stick 2 fingers up to FFP and take the fine? Has anyone actually been docked points?
We can't though. We can't
not rich enough yet.
It's not. The thing about it is though, it's not just a law. It's more of a principle. Because if you start getting into bad habits where you're just spending money, that's not really good practice, and it means you're not doing your job very well. If you're just throwing money, you need to. It's actually a good way of working to spend. It's like anything, isn't it? It's like normal life. If you start living above your means, it will always catch up with you one way or another. And Everton will never. The way I looked at it was, Everton have been like bad gamblers over the last few years. They set out in the first 2 years under Macheri, and they spent poorly on very expensive bad buys. And ever since, we've been trying to bet big. You know, like the way gamblers do, the way they try and correct the loss by betting even bigger on something and going even more into debt. And that can't last forever. Because all what will happen is you get to a point where you can't actually afford stuff. It's great going, FFP's just stopping us. But what happens if you get to a point where you're crippling in debt? I mean, we've seen clubs who have nearly gone to the wall because they've had that kind of thought oh, it's all right, we'll sort this out. And they never sort it out. And when they get into real difficulties, they can't go out there and get those players. What if Everton were in a really good position to kick on and couldn't because debt had such a stranglehold on us? I think that's the way we've got to look at it. FFP is not a great rule, but actually it's a good way to sort of have that.
Manages your business.
Yeah.
It's all about thingy.
What we should be doing.
Responsible spending, really.
What we should be doing, I think it's what we are doing, is looking at FFP and saying, right, this is our bar right now. Let's not spend above that. So how do we get that bar higher? And that is better sponsors, finishing higher in the league.
Player trading.
Cup runs.
No, not player training. Bad news, Piv.
It is. You've got to trade.
Right.
Get rid of the young players we're not going to use for money.
Player trading.
You
is
hate
right.
young players. Yeah.
That's completely the opposite.
Right. And build the stadium. Right. So what you should do then is spend the money on the things that can do that. And the way you spend money on doing that is a manager you spend money on that you know is going to be good. Check, we've done that. Investing in a new stadium. Check, we're doing that. And the rest should fall into place.
Player trading is right, though. You trade up. So you might have a player who's playing in your first team and you want to replace him with a better player.
It's like Luchman. We didn't fancy him anymore and we decided to trade up on him.
And that's what it's about. You have a player who you buy and you go, he's a good player and we'll get money for him, but he's a better player. And so you can sell someone. And
just on that, if we continually break FFP and others start to do it, then it's going to end up as an arms race and there's certain clubs who can just outspend everyone forever.
I think the thing with Everton is they can some years just go, right, we'll stick 2 fingers up to it this year and just take the fine. City did it. But it would only be worth doing that when there was a reason to do it. So if you were at a stage where you went, if we buy this centre forward for £60 million, we're going to go over it, but he's worth buying and he wants to come and we're going to be here then.
If one player was the difference between making the Champions League and that 110 million that it brings you, then all day,
exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
And but you have to almost save up for that point, isn't it?
You do.
You know what I mean? It's like when you were a kid and you got money for Christmas and you could go and get that one really good shiny thing that would actually value for spending that money, or you end up just going to the sweet shop and buying crap every single day and you have nothing to show for it. That's what we've been doing. We've said this loads of time, haven't we? We said this actually before we got Ancelotti. The money we'd spent on managers, not only on bringing them in, but getting rid of them. We could have gone out and got the world's best. The world's best. The money we've paid for bad players, we could have gone out and got a couple of the world's best players and said, we're prepared to pay you more than anybody else. But we didn't because it was all very like short term, or again trying to right the wrongs that we'd already made. To be honest, I think at times we haven't been bold enough in what we wanted, and that's where I think somewhere like City succeeded, because at first they were buying the drips and
they were like us,
and then they just went, you know what? Why are we buying 15 also rands where we're going by 6 quality players?
Yeah, but they went and got Aguero for 30 million. When he was at what I'm saying now,
price now would be 80 million. Yeah,
but he was at a club where Atletico Madrid were decent. They weren't the way they are now. Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying now with Everton, with their recruitment, is your German clubs and your French clubs, the teams who are playing in Champions League and Europa League,
Belgian clubs,
good players. Go and get those players that might cost you that money, rather than trying to buy the best players at Newcastle or someone like that, you know. And
free Joe Linton.
But that's what City did, though, didn't he? City spent a stupid amount of money at the start on rubbish.
Roque, Santa Cruz, Adebayor,
there's loads, mate. Bozyanov and all of those players.
The difference was FFP wasn't such
and
a
FFP
big thing,
wasn't a thing, was it?
And they've actually got the money to actually just write all that away. And they came up with, and they did have the stadium, so they could come up with clever ways to write it all off. That's the problem we've got at the moment. This is why I've said this for ages about the stadium. The stadium and I know, listen, I've had conversations, I won't say arguments, I've had conversations with some Reds who were like, the stadium doesn't mean nothing, look at Arsenal, look at Spurs, blah, blah, blah. The stadium puts you on a different level that you can start to come up with creative, clever things. And we've just seen the first one last night, naming rights. And what makes me laugh about the naming rights thing is that some people are reporting it as we're getting 30 million for our naming rights. Totally. It's like, not, mate, we're getting 30 million so someone can come in the room and go, can we have your naming rights? And we go, yeah, 250 million please, mate. There you go.
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's the whole thing, what it's about. It's just different ways how to do it, isn't it? Paul M says, what would your thoughts be on Frank Kessie for 22 million? And
He's available. They're shopping him around. He's been offered to agents. Yeah, he's available. I like him a lot. Carries the ball well, breaks up play. It's something we lack really right now in the current midfield options we've got.
would you try and get him on a loan with a view to
Loan
buy?
Loan to buy, yeah.
Where do you think, this is off Akim Giliev, where do you think we're going to go in terms of buying a centre-back?
Well, there's two play for Benfica that people, I think we've watched a fair bit, in Ferro and Ruben Diaz. And then France, there's so many good young centre-backs in France that we'd be remiss. And then Germany, they've got a few ones. There's a lad who plays for Augsburg on loan from Wolfsburg called Felix Udegai, who's 6'4", but he's really mobile and lightning, really running. He'd be a good sign and good on the ball as well. They're the three countries I think we'd be looking at, yeah.
Good,
Not
very
Holland.
good. Max that 1878 says, anyone see Totti smashing the free kick? And
Unreal.
He showed me a thing.
Do you reckon he made them take that about 10 times until he got it right? I had the feeling he was doing that. He's shit.
And I don't think he's got that kind of vanity.
What?
No, Totti's never been like that. I know he's got the hair and everything, but
And
he's never been.
supermodel wife.
I don't think he's ever been a vain player though.
I think he was overrated myself.
Yeah, bad news. You never, you're not. I don't think you're at the right age to see when he was actually in his peak.
2001 too, of course.
Yeah.
I was
You were
14,
4.
15. I'm 33, you dope. Not Minshall over there.
Minshall.
Minstrel.
Martin Carter says, ask the Piv, should we go get Suso on loan from Milan?
I answered this one to someone. He's too similar to Iwobi and Bernard. He's not the right type of player we need for the right-hand side. He's a very good player, but we need a different type, someone more direct with pace who can score goals.
Terry McKenna says, well, I'll see if Baz...
Hang on a sec. T. Carlin 199.
I've already started.
No, I just want to say this. Iwobi wasn't 35 million with add-on. That's what it can rise to. It was 28 million.
Okay.
So
Terry
unless
McKenna
we win the
said-
Champions League, I don't think we're going to get the rest of it.
No.
Terry
Shut up,
McKenna.
Ed.
Terry McKenna says, another show where the Piv explains how to understand stats and how to use them. You want a show where he tells you.
If you want me to, I'll do it.
The problem is that he just doesn't come in enough.
Yeah.
I've told you just an hour ago.
Too busy lying in his pit, thinking of rumours that he can put out there about Everton players. And then what he does is, he counteracts those rumours on the internet and go, no, he's not good enough. He's basically the disease and the cure.
What, on my news site?
You are?
I think he's just...
You're basically Sky News.
He's
Sky
there.
Sports News and Sky Bet all in one thing.
He's gone looking for acting jobs. That's why
He
he's
is,
not
he
been
is.
here.
You know,
That's enough.
Got a lot of actors. I can't see him every role in the country.
We have been linked with this Marash Kumbulier today.
I've watched him. I think he runs in wellies. I think he's a typical Italian
Another
defender.
Tosin.
Tosin's boots.
He's a centre-back. He runs in wellies, though.
Okay, fair enough. Eugene McGeever says Everton will be in the top half of the Premier League. Why does the chat change but won't move back up?
There's the bad on there.
Why won't it change?
Why will it change for me?
It's on a read.
That's why I had it out on the big fella.
No,
Yeah, what?
Well,
I had it out on the big fella.
the big fella's there. Everton will be in the top half of the Premier League when we beat West Ham this weekend at the London Stadium. Fingers crossed. G. Carlin wants us to just buy Carrasco. Do you like Carrasco?
Yeah, he's very direct. Again, no, I prefer him cutting in off the left. You need someone who's naturally right-sided. I think you can't. I know people say you can't play him right, and you can. But to get the best starter players, he wants to cut in on that right foot and score. I think he's scored 17 goals this season in China. Yeah, good, right pace, right type of player.
15 and 22 he's got in China.
Yeah, right type of player though.
China.
And 4 assists. I think
Yes, it is. That's right.
Amin has said Kabak from Schalke looks immense.
Good player, yeah, really good player. I think Bayern have got an option on him now, and that's the problem. Trying to get him out of Germany, I think Bayern have got first refusal on him.
Okay.
Owes him Kabak.
Flimbo Slice says just the USM Stadium. Okay. Matthew Davis-Jones says, do you think Everton should organise a pre-season friendly versus Ibiza? Ibiza. Be amazing. Imagine the
Never
Blues
come back.
over there.
Some people never come back.
Some people still haven't come back.
They'd love it. Stuart Lowe says, hi there guys, forget about the January window. Who would Ancelotti try to bring into Everton in the summer? As I see that much more importantly.
Well, we discussed on the to-do list, didn't we, what type of players we need to sign in terms of a right back, a right winger, a centre midfielder and a centre back for next season, and maybe a striker, as we discussed. I wouldn't believe all these Italian players, because Italian players don't really come into the Premier League and do well. So I think that's just press making up, like, really. And as Ancelotti said, none of the players.
99% of it's nonsense.
Yeah, it is nonsense.
Mowers and stuff says Stones back.
Oh,
What do you think about that? That was mentioned the other day. City don't.
If you want to play him as defensive midfielder, I'm all for it.
That's it, isn't it?
Not in a 4-4-2 though.
I just don't know if he's got the head for it.
Yeah, I don't. G. Carlin says Benzema in the summer.
Yeah.
Simon Rouse says, I know it's bad practice, but until we get the new stadium, how can we compete as FFP favours the big clubs like United and Barca? Well, we're not competing with United and Barca though, are we, as such? We just have to cut our own cloth accordingly, and that's all you can do. We can't, I'm saying about, we can sail close to, the thing about with us with FFP, I wouldn't mind like sailing close to it if it meant we were buying boss players, but it's not. It's because of all the crap we've got, and if we can get rid of all the crap, I honestly feel like FFP will start to go away.
Phil Howarth wants to know what he should call his yacht for USM.
Clive.
That'd be a good name.
It's the answer for everything.
Is it going to be called a woman's name?
Is it Gary?
Get it. Keith Powell says, I'm concerned that our wage bill is now 85% of our revenue. Not good. However, I think it has been recognised and the efforts to address this are underway.
And it was also only 85% because it was a 13-month thing. They did say that in the room last night. It's higher, it's less than that, but you're right, it's still too high.
It is too high. But again, that's because we've got too many players on the books. And that's where, again, we need to be clever and start getting rid of some of these players and start getting rid of some of these young players. Putting them, if they're not good enough, get rid of them. If they are good enough, stick them out on loan somewhere.
Magnus Dunn says, what about Sandro Tonali as a possible midfielder?
Yeah, I love Sandro Tonali, but he's an Italian six, and like if people like watched Jorginho for Chelsea, I know he's much more physical, he's taller, but we don't play a six now. We play 4-4-2, and it doesn't really suit the team. He is a good player though. I just don't think British football suited to him now.
Alex Kenny thinks Kevin Phillips in the summer. Calvin Phillips in the summer.
I love Calvin Phillips.
But he's a three-man midfielder.
He's a 6-3. Yeah,
that's what he says. He's got a dodgy trim. He has got a dodgy trim.
Well, you know,
Jonathan McCulper, Immobile in the summer.
No, it's all in the name as well.
Yeah, exactly. 29. He's been brilliant for Lazio this season.
He failed for anyone outside of Italy, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah, wasn't very good for Dortmund, was he? But he's got 21 and 22 for Lazio
Great in that
this
league,
season.
you know.
Nearly 30.
Does Brands saying that we have plenty of centre midfielders mean that that's not an area for this window?
I hope not. I really hope
what he
not.
was stats on the Royal Blue 1878. Yeah. I think what he was saying was we need to get rid of a couple before we even look at that area.
Starting with Mo and Gilf.
I'd be distraught if we don't bring in a centre midfielder.
Get back, Morgan.
I just think we need to. Well, they've said that Schneiderlin can go if there's any interest in him at all.
So he's not going then.
That's the issue, isn't it? I wonder if Marseille want him on loan. Some French club must want him on loan.
They've just signed it. Interesting. They've just employed someone today called Paul Aldridge, as the British the man who sells players to Britain. That's his official job title. He's basically a liaison. Yeah, he's a liaison to sell Morgan Sanson, who's a midfielder who West Ham been linked to. They want to sell players to England because they get more money.
Can they take any back?
I don't think.
Can he take Schneiderlin just on loan?
I don't think AVB would want Schneiderlin, if I'm honest.
Surely he would like Schneiderlin, Leon.
Maybe.
I mean, last time he was there, he had a cob on and wanted to get off the pitch, but he might be all right.
Yeah, I want to stay on the pitch
fast enough.
No.
Guys, we should just buy a 20 goals like it was Premier League experience.
I'm sure people are just trying to wind
Mark G, get ears, he's trying to wind
you,
up.
Mark G, and your American wit. Tell you what.
Shake those fists.
Stay away.
What are the likes on?
The Middle East. Hang on, I'll tell you now.
Jesus.
He's a good reason.
Yeah. Hey, that Messiah on Netflix is great.
Don't you not be funny? It's turning into
143 and there's 500 watching.
The Messiah on
Get
Netflix,
that to
everyone
250,
watch
please,
it.
right now.
It's talk.
Billy, check them up.
Ed, you'd love it. Watch it.
It's turned into the PIV review stuff.
Just
you should,
go
honestly, listen, watch the Messiah.
Just go on and have a look on the thing, what likes we're up to now, because we better be more than 143.
I'm just trying to work out why the internet's been in.
Mine's working wonderfully.
Oh, that's probably why. You're probably stealing all the internet.
You can't steal all of
What
it.
am I? Wreck-It Ralph?
He's like the Grinch.
He's not the Grinch.
It's like the Grinch of the internet.
I mean, he's been given a few.
I've got important scouting things to do.
165. I mean, I'm ashamed. I feel for people. I feel for people. 250 it should be at this stage when there's 514 watching.
Stuart Lowe says, how about
Devastated.
Sandro Ramirez coming back
He'll be a good
and a
player.
better manager getting a tune out of him? Biggest comeback in sport. If that came off, I know.
Never
If he
happened.
comes
Not being
back,
funny, mate.
I hope he drinks some of the juice. Go out for a couple of nights out with
could-
Jürgen.
He
And
could
it'd be
be full of
amazing.
holes and we wouldn't get a better tune out of him.
Did you see how fast James Milner ran against us, though?
Yeah.
Telling you. Telling you.
Get on the Jesus, Jules.
Fitter and stronger than he's ever been in his career. He's
34.
34 million times faster than he was when he was 28.
Outrunning
And he's
21
like that.
years.
He looks like a Dharma Traore, you know.
I told you, they're all licking. They're all licking.
The tip.
Henderson's tip.
Fair enough.
What more can you say?
Look, get Sandro on a night
He
out
has
with him.
got the spear of destiny and they're all licking the tip of it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
It was given to it, but no, I can't go there.
Royal Blue 1878 says, have you watched much of Jenny this season? She's got a cracking OnlyFans. Oh, sorry.
Who's Jay?
Oh, you mean Kenny? John Joe Kenny. Right, sorry.
You've been on Instagram again?
Sorry, I mean, look, Kenny, not Jenny. I think Mr. Royal Blue 1878 all over Instagram. And he's gone, Jenny on OnlyFans. He's done well, John
Builds
Joe
up to
Kenny,
half, innit?
hasn't he? He's done well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I've just got his data profile up here. He's one of the best passers in the Bundesliga. In the final third, though, when it comes to like creating chances and crossing, not so good.
Bad news, bears.
And that's his issue. He's not dynamic enough on
Yeah,
the ball.
yeah.
And I do like John Joe, but I just don't think Everton. I don't think he's got. I think Everton should sell him. Sorry, John Joe.
With a buyback.
Yes, of course.
With a buyback.
Buyback.
With a buyback.
Bye-bye. I was a true
I must admit I was a clown who be
Bye
messing
back.
around, but that doesn't mean that you
you-
got to leave town. Come back, Billy
You be 40
doesn't know
and Bubba
this
and Buster
song
Ranks.
because
Oh,
he's from
right.
Shrewsbury and...
The
Like,
Minshall brothers.
Biggie
come
Smalls is
back.
smiling.
Okay. Ellis Quinton. I mean, there's a name straight away.
That's
He
a
says,
great name.
Love footy, lads, especially the Blues and the bands. No, he doesn't say bands.
Just
Wanted to
talking
know
about
what you lot think a career in sports journalism. It feels like it's not a job for proper footy fans, but for rich
People?
swear words
With an English degree.
I mean, listen,
I did journalism in university.
I think journalism nowadays is for absolute mugs. I think you're wasting your time. No, I think
It's
you're
such
wasting-
bad money, you know.
I think you're wasting your. I think anyone who gets a sports degree is sports journalism degree is wasting the time. I really do, because that industry is going the way of the dodo.
Well, the papers are all going, aren't they?
They will. I mean, I mean, get one if you want, but you know it's up to you. And just enjoy it. Go to the ale all the time. Get a degree.
Toffee Blue Nose says Denise Barrett Baxendale, she's hot. Fair enough. Bad Wolf
Stop it, David.
Bad Wolf Edit says, have you seen Howard's Way? Yes, we have. Fantastic film.
To give Billy my ticket.
Absolutely brilliant. Billy enjoyed it as well, didn't you, Bill? Yeah.
Billy
Oh,
went down
brilliant.
and got to meet Duncan Ferguson.
You went down on him?
him? Tony Bellew.
Oh, it's
Amongst
okay.
others.
And they were the best people he'd met since he met Flav and Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV.
Really?
Oh, he loves Flav.
He loves Flav.
Loves Flav.
Flavor Flav.
Loves Flav. Loves James and Flav. Podcast.
Bad Wolf Edit's my lads in it. There you go.
Amin says, if an opportunity presented itself and we could got a Netflix-style documentary that could enhance our name and brand,
Good God Almighty, no.
would also expose our faults, would you do it?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No!
Yes.
We'd end up as Sunderland. No.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
It'd be great.
Someone might get the envelopes out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you'd have people saying, do it for Andre, lads. Don't win the game for you. Win it for Andre.
Or you'd have the root and branch where everyone just keeps the jobs. Either or, you know.
Great technician. I said to Andre, you're a great technician, but you've got no leg.
Denise, why don't we have Denise Investigates Sport Pizza links?
Is that a YouTube show? A Netflix show? Sorry.
Should be. More questions
yeah.
now?
G. Scott says, Bell used fight at Goodison was unreal. Billy was there.
Aye. I've got
Oh,
that
wait,
down
yeah,
as my best
that
sport
one
moment.
Scouser Jason, as opposed to other Jasons, says, thanks lads for your post-derby videos. I've had them on loop, making my shifts go much quicker, and we call you bitter. Keep up the good work. There you go. He's a red, obviously.
It's right, Jace. If you've
fine.
enjoyed it and it's got you through your work, I'm happy.
Fine. It's
I'm
fine.
happy. That's what
I mean,
it's
the
about.
mad thing is, imagine being top of the league and going to win it. Still in the Champions League. With world champions. I'd probably just be watching videos of the footy. But to be watching but it's fine, because you know what? You're paying my mortgage. So it's all good.
It helps.
It's all good. You're paying my mortgage.
I'm happy. Listen, if he enjoys it, it's whatever makes you happy. So it's right, Jay.
We were thinking of like going down to like one of Liverpool's shops and videoing outside or stuff, but then we remembered. No, I know it wasn't. But then I remembered we had lives and make great content. But don't worry, Jace, Scouser Jace. I mean, again, by calling himself Scouser Jace, I think he's just trying to reassure himself.
I've got no issue with Scouser Jason.
No, but he's got an Irish flag with a Liverpool badge on.
He seems like a nice lad. He's happy and he's enjoying watching our videos. I don't know.
And by the way, Scouser Jace, if that is your real name, we're not bitter. We don't. This is the mad thing. I couldn't care less. Enjoy your day.
I do want City to come back and win the league.
No, I've told you what I want City to do, and it's. I've told you.
Lee L says, if we get rid of Siggs, Morgan, Schneider, Niash and Martina, how much salary will we be up afterwards? Should be a busy summer for sure. 200 grand, 300 grand a week, easily. More. Not
Sophie
bad.
Gallagher says, are you doing a show reviewing the AGM? No, we did a little video last night. Apart from the 30 million, which there's not really that much to talk about, is there? It's all stuff we knew. And what can you say about the 30 million? We're getting 30 million, that's it. It's ring fence, so therefore that will go towards the stuff that will be done in the next 6 months, pushing the stadium forward. And you know, when we first get the stadium, all that initial stuff that we have to put down payments on. Apart from that, there's not really that much to talk about. You know, apart from some nice fluffy Everton the community videos that he put up. It was what it was.
The Brands thing was all right, and it was good hearing from Carlo, but yeah, I mean, most of it was just stuff we knew, wasn't it? And already out.
Can I just say, I'm sorry, mate, but you've stepped over the line. You've absolutely stepped over the line there. He said, Jason is a proper fella, give him an orange twirl. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. You stepped over the line there. The orange twirls are in a vault, and they're not getting given to anyone. Anybody. Step over the line.
Not even me.
Other than the vault.
They're called your stomach.
Do you know what? I haven't ate any of them. I swear to God.
Well, what are they doing? They're in a vault.
They're getting the value of them going up.
Okay.
What I wanted was it all to pass over, and then I'm going to bring them back, because you know what they're like in here, stealing our stuff.
Oh my God.
And honestly,
They love it. Sophie, lads, forgot it's the Tina derby. It is the Tina derby on Saturday. It is. Let's hope we just win.
Just win, will you?
Just win.
Right, let's do a couple.
Go on,
more,
do the last couple, because it's time to go
on. Simon Rowe says, we you be up?
Would you be up for getting Barkley back, maybe on loan? No. Lucas says, with Toffee TV Payton still having a meet-up. You know what? We will have to do one at the end of the season.
Lindsay says, what's the Korean lad at RB Salzburg like, lads?
I was talking about him before, Chan Hoang.
Yeah,
Plays centre forward, can play on the wing. I prefer him centrally. Drops off the front, gets in the box, scores goals, good passes with the ball. Yes, I would like him at Everton.
Quick
enough.
Quick enough. I mean, that's never quick, is it? When people go, quick enough.
But do you know what? This is a conversation I have with like professional scouts. How would you say your top level pace is different than what I would say? You know what I mean? So it's better with player comparisons. If I said someone's quick, Riyad Mahrez. If I said someone's light, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
It's easy to do it that way.
Mr. Kong says, would you prefer LFC to win the league, even if you hate them, rather than another team? Mr. Kong, I would rather.
Mr. Kong?
That's what his name is, Mr. Kong. I would rather the 11 worst human beings that ever lived on the planet. Ever. Like, the worst 11 ever came back, won the league, and then set upon destroying the world. Then Liverpool win the league. I've got to be honest.
Royal Blue 1878 says, what time's the podcast out? Isn't it already out?
Podcast's out.
Podcast's out, mate.
It's out. Podcast's
But I
out.
received just abuse.
I mean,
from
says
them,
I've got I've got your Gibraltar biscuits.
What are you on about, Ped? Is he, because you said he's overstepped the mark, he's Gibraltar biscuit and you're off.
He's
there.
off.
He's had you off like the
Full
rock.
of real Gibraltar
He's gonna
mountain
give
monk,
it. He's gonna
rock
give it to the
mountains.
Barbary Apes. Your biscuits. So there you go.
Empty wrappers is what's in the vault. Honestly, it's not. Oh, I've not ate it. I might have ate one.
Of course. Ryan Lomax Glover says, let's go Danny Ings and give Southampton Theo.
Mark G says, just saw that on Twitter that AFC scouts were at Tuesday's Benfica match,
We're at every match.
especially to watch Ferreira.
We're at every single Benfica.
Okay.
Every
We
team,
are, aren't we? We've watched.
Every team goes to watch Benfica.
We watched João
literally year
Felix
round.
about 25 times
Yeah.
before things.
We watch players even when we're not going to sign them, just
Yeah.
to keep an eye on
Just to
them.
keep people guessing.
Yeah.
James Garvo says Everton Suarez.
Suarez.
I know, that's Suarez.
Everton
Yes,
Suarez. No.
No, I don't think it will be.
Robert Dinsmore would take Shaqiri from Liverpool.
No.
Wouldn't have him anywhere near our club, I'm afraid. That's just my opinion.
Do you think that Aki signed for Everton in this window? No.
Nope.
No. And Mr. Kong says, cheers lads, being a Londoner, I prefer a London team to win it, even if I hate them. No, let's. Mr. Kong, you need to reevaluate your
Fair play,
your
mate.
part
That's
in life.
all. Everyone's got different opinions, mate. That's what makes footy great.
But not the world.
Okay, enough.
That's it.
There you
We've
go.
done longer than I thought we would.
My
so
reign of terror is over for
it's all-
tonight.
He's done.
The bad news, Piv has got no more bad news
No.
until he gets home and sees his missus.
And she's going to give him a crack. I'm going home to play Star Wars.
Okay. That's good.
All good.
There you go.
See you later.
See you.
Get them likes up. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.